Hello viewers, it's Super GT here once again. We are online in Forza 6 in some spec racing. Now for those of you who watched one of my recent videos, you will know that I joined the GTR Club. So we do some racing every now and then. This is the first time I've raced with the GTR guys, a couple of them in the lobby. We also have some other fast drivers in here as well. JSR Rossi being one of them, one of the fastest guys in the game. And I'm not going to be one of the fastest in the game at the moment, as I've gone into the back of Abdul, or the front of him, as he was facing the wrong way. And I have ended up in 14th around the first corner, coming into the second chicane here at Monza. On the exit, it's going to get messy. I'm going to go for the outside, and it's just going to get very untidy. Unfortunately, I knocked this guy off. GTR NE. I don't know how you say your name, I do apologise. But it got very messy there between us. We're in dead last place now, so we've got all the work to do in the world. 7 laps though to do it in, so we have some time to actually catch up with some people, such as these two guys here, Yoda and Jula DT, caught up in an accident. So we've gained 2 places. You could always count on some sort of incident happening, especially in spec car racing, as everyone's going to be very bunched up. You can expect some incidents such as this. Devise goes a little bit too wide around the first part of the Lesmo curves here and loses momentum on the exit. I'm through up to another position. Got GTR Tiski just ahead of me. It's going to get very cosy as we kink to the left in the run up towards the Ascari chicane, looking for the overhead banner before we're going to start braking. There it is. Brake just underneath that and you've got yourself a safe braking point. I've got traction control on there. Wasn't sure what to go with in this car. Makes slight contact with the back of Tiski. I'm just going to get the run on him on the exit as we go into 11th place. We're being followed through here by Devise into the final turn of Parabolica here at Monza. Braking halfway down that red mark on the left hand side. Devise has gone up the inside and I'm just going to get around the outside of him there, keeping the momentum on the outside. So I went for traction. I'm not always sure which to use, on or off. In these faster classes, sometimes you do need it, sometimes you don't. But I think that this car is actually very good without it. It seems anyway. I haven't driven it many times before, so I can't always remember. So this one, maybe the BMW M3 GT2, might be better with it off. Braking on the 150 metre mark on the left hand side there as we enter the first chicane at Monza. And then into the Ascari chicane. Lap number 4, we're halfway through the race. That is Pocoyo in the tyre wall. And this is Pedro going slowly as well. Those two having some sort of incident around the last part of the Ascari chicane. We've got advertising hoardings flying everywhere across the track, and it looks like myself and NE or Knee here have gone through the pack quite nicely after taking each other out at the second chicane of lap number 1. So actually nice progress made by the pair of us here as we come up to end lap number 4. So at the start of lap number 5, it's going to get quite dirty here, so just a word of warning for those of you with a more sensitive disposition to car chaos and carnage. As we make contact during the second chicane, we're going to get swamped by the rest of the pack. I lose 3 positions and NE loses 2. Tiski just slotting in between us here. So through the first part of the Lesmos, is it going to kick off once again? Yes it is, and Tiski is just going to get wiped out into the wall. NE went wide coming out of the first part of the Lesmo. Tiski had to take avoiding action, and unfortunately that was the wall. Into the first chicane on lap number 7. This is the final lap. Goes a little bit wide on the brakes. I'm through into 9th position, and that's Pedro just ahead, who leapfrogged us on lap number 5 as we made contact at the second chicane. Remember, he is now ahead of us. He went a little bit wide coming out of that first chicane, so he's going to be on the back foot now as we now come into the second chicane. Let's hope that I don't make that same mistake. I just dipped my 2 wheels onto the grass on the right hand side there. That is why I started sliding and going into the back of the other guy there. So into the Lesmos. This is a kick-off point basically for carnage, where people go wide. It's going to happen again. He's just gone 2 wheels onto the grass. It slowed you down quite a lot. Too much for him. And I have gained 8th place. So not too bad given that I was 15th at the halfway mark of lap 1. Into the last corner, Parabolica. I can see that proximity arrow, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to come through to finish 8th. So a decent race there. A little bit messy at times, but it's going to be like that when you've got a lot of quick guys all racing in exactly the same cars. It's going to get very close like that. Okay, so this brings us to the second race of the video around Spa-Francorchamps. We are all driving the Dodge Viper GTS R, and into the first corner, opting to take the wider line. I find that often works, especially if you're on the outside of the grid. It's better just to stay on the outside rather than cutting across to the inside. The inside is often the focal point of carnage, so just avoiding the inside apex there. Coming through Eau Rouge, it's going to get extremely messy. So a couple of guys wide. Pocoyo just comes across and I don't really react in time, smashing the wall and just get totally ravaged from behind. And I've just gone absolutely flying, trying to become an astronaut it seems. And I drop down into 14th place. I'm just getting my momentum back. Will I go down to last? I'm not sure if I do. Not quite. So 14th place out of 15. Not the best start. We do eventually catch up. I did go down to 15th though at one point, as you can see here. NE, we are together once again. Going a little bit too wide through there. And I go through into 14th. It's the same story again. The pair of us at the back of the pack with a lot of work to do. So let's see how many positions we can gain from here. So lap 4, we just skipped ahead a lap there. And Abdul is just going to get hemmed in on the outside by Tiski. That gives me the opening to go through into 13th. Now we can tuck into the slipstream as we go uphill towards Blanchimont. The fearsome left-hander. Not too fearsome in this car, as everyone's pretty much extending the entry and then just going through. You can take that flat out. And I lose actually a bit of momentum there going too wide. So I was thinking of going up the inside into the chicane, but my wide run through Blanchimont is not going to help me there. Just getting a bit wide through the exit of the first apex, putting up the inside, and that's going to give me the back foot here coming up the main straight. So Abdul is going to go around the outside, or at least try to, and I brake a little bit too late, almost going to the back of Tiski. Thankfully don't, but Abdul is going to get the cut back and take 13th place back. But as you can see here, a couple of cars ahead. It's going to get rather messy, rather interesting around this section on lap number 5. This is the final lap, so we're in 14th. We can gain a couple of positions here, make the most of this carnage and chaos coming down the hill into the very tricky right-hander, which seems to have adverse camber. It takes so long to get round here, and the car always wants to understeer and oversteer. This guy's gone very sliding wide. That's Devise. He's going to lose out quite a few positions. And I'm going to use my muscles here to get past Tiski and Abdul in one fell swoop up into 11th. They're 3 wide coming down into Pouon, the fearsome 180 degree left-hander. And I'm through there quite nicely. I've got a 100 feet gap, so I don't have to worry about defending into the chicane here. So I can just focus on my lines and see if I can catch up to John just ahead of me here. It looks like the two of them are battling just up ahead, but in the end I wasn't able to catch up, finishing 11th in the end, so not too bad. It was still a good race. That's the thing with these kind of lobbies, you've got good drivers, so even if you're dead last you're still going to have a decent battle. So this brings us to the final clip of this video. We are now racing the BMW Z4 GTE around Sonoma, or Sonoma, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's weird. I say these tracks all the time and I don't even know how to pronounce them. I should really learn properly. But coming up the hill around the very undulating Sonoma race circuit, it's going to get quite messy. Yes, Abdul loses a couple of positions, and then looking into the right-hander here, Devise just weighs in a little bit on hysterical. That gives me the opening into this right-hander, and I'm just going to take 6th place, just get ahead of him. Make sure we can't take the place back into this left-hander, the long left. Just spotting our exit point here, just almost going onto the grass, and that would have been fatal pretty much. Into this right-hand hairpin, 180 degrees, or it seems like more actually. This corner kind of goes on forever. Hysterical's back up the inside, and I am back down into 7th. No worries, we can still try and gain a couple of positions from here. We have a long race ahead of us, so 7 laps. Probably about 10 minutes or maybe more. All of us pretty much confused which layout we're doing here. There's obviously 2 main layouts around this track, and I never remember which one you're doing until you've done it. Until you've done the first lap, then you know which one you're doing. So all of us pretty much going wide on the exit of that chicane. That looks like divides up the inside of a Jeweler DT. I guess it's getting very messy. And then now they're actually 3 wide coming through the pit straight. The left kink, and Jeweler DT just going to make contact with the pair of them. I was deciding which way to go, made the right decision, went to the left, got through into 6th place. Jeweler DT going to lose a couple of positions. Devise and Hysterical making contact. I'm through on the pair of them at the 2nd corner, up into 4th. A bit of a gap though up ahead to Moshi, and then JSR Rossi out in the lead. As you'd probably expect, once that guy is in the lead, it's pretty much race over. He is just that quick. You're just probably never going to catch him. Now, I think the only way you can really beat him is just to get ahead of him and just defend like fuck until the end. But even then you probably won't win anyway. So through the left hand Parabolica, the long left in the centre of the track. This one's quite an important one to get right. Got to get on the accelerator as early as you can. This car does have decent acceleration and decent grip, so you can get on that throttle quite early. But into this one, which is a good overtaking opportunity, I'm a little bit wide, and that's why it is very important to get that left-hander right just before, because it gives you that chance to get away from the car behind as you go into the good overtaking opportunity. But anyway, I make a big mistake. Hysterical gets through anyway because of my poor judgment. I know that this guy's quick, so I can hopefully just follow him through. And going through the second to last corner, you can carry so much momentum through there. It really does. It looks quite misleading on the entry, but that one you can carry a lot of speed. Just look at that proximity area there. Abdul's getting very close as we entered the final corner. This corner here, I don't really count that as a corner, it's just more of a kink in a straight. Coming into this hairpin again, Abdul up the inside, and that's going to be a very nice move. I seem to be very vulnerable into that corner. I didn't really sort out my braking point, so I never was quite sure exactly where to brake. Obviously I was braking too early, as Abdul proved there. Going through into 5th place, and I'm in my usual 6th place at the moment. Very close behind though, so we're looking to try and take the place back as quickly as we can. Abdul's just going to take a bit too much speed through there and lose a bit of momentum on the exit. I'm up the inside into the final corner. Go a little bit deep. I'm just going to cut back here, prevent him from getting on the cutback. You can see there that Hysterical was actually bridged the gap to the guys ahead quite quickly. That is how quick he is. I just was not able to live with that pace. I do need to drive these cars a bit more often though, because I'm often in A and B class, so a bit slower. That is my racing driver excuse for not winning all of these races. Through the 2nd corner, carrying a nice amount of momentum through there, and in the end the gap got a little bit bigger, and we're going to come through to finish 5th, just shy of 11 minutes total race time, so not too bad in the end. Hysterical getting through to 3rd, ahead of Brooksy time there, just ahead of us in 4th. JSR Rossi with a pretty crazy 1 minute 30 lap time, which was about a second quicker than anyone else in that race. But that is going to bring a close to this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. I'll try to do many more of these kind of videos for you, as I'll be doing many more of these lobbies in the future. But subscribe if you'd like to see more like this, guys. Hit that like button if you did like the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.